claims, everything is expected to straight. It's like it seems wrong way.
My name is Paul James. I host this news every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, my dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome to the East-West Show. Check Chow on the East-West with my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, a political commentator, a good friend, a fighter for the community. I respect him a lot, even though I argue with him all the time. 2 days ago, we had a big argument over the fact about partisanship line versus the line that opening against closing. So we'll get on it right away. But right now we want to start with the good things.
Yes.
Right? I believe that we have some good signs of the stock market today.
We do.
And it started with lots of hope.
Well,
Promisingly, it will continue.
Yeah, well, we never know that, okay? Because the world is a very crazy place right now. However, like 6 weeks ago, approximately, we were at 29.7 on the Dow, went down to 28. We're back up to 24, probably 7 now. And what's happened is the market's up 550, 650 right now for today. And a lot of it is, and of course, all the economic numbers coming out are disasters because we've got 24 million people unemployed. Multiply that by their wives and kids, it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it's
yeah.
unbelievable. So it's very tragic. But the president and his economic advisors believe the third quarter we will be getting our momentum back, and the fourth quarter will be on fire.
If you divide the 27 million by 4, that's the average number of members of a family, though, you're talking about more than 6 million families.
No, it's 24 million individuals have filed for unemployment insurance. You multiply it by 3 or 4 to find out how many Americans are troubled and having economic hardships right now. Now, checks are going out.
When you say 27 million,
They
you
filed
say
24
27 million individuals.
Yeah, individual filings.
That's exactly my point.
No, well, okay, whatever. Yeah,
I see.
It goes the other way.
You are talking about the person who filed it.
Yeah, each right.
All right.
So
each person represents a family in that case.
Right, but when you add the family members, then all of a sudden you're up to 60, 70 million people that are impacted that live in a household without money.
That's even worse than my calculation.
Much worse. It's horrible.
Much worse than my calculation.
It's tragic. But now the good news is a lot of these jobs will come back. And these people, we're hoping they're trying to help them survive economically, financially, until the jobs come back, okay? And they will come back. But yeah.
I do agree with that because do you remember when we talk about the first year of Donald Trump, we're talking about he himself had to face a situation of build something based on almost nothing.
Right. Left over.
To create jobs based on almost no jobs.
Right.
Now he's facing another situation, which is that the job had been there prior to the pandemic.
Oh yeah, they were there.
So to resume the jobs, it's only to resume, not a creation.
No, see, we were at 3.5% unemployment, lowest in 50, 60 years. In World War II, everybody was working to try to defeat our enemies. And now it's like probably 16, 18, it'll be 20%, by the time we get to June and look at the April.
Right now it's over 13.5.
But it's going to go
and
up.
that number is obsolete already.
Way up.
It's way obsolete already.
Yeah, we had another
We're
4
talking
million.
about 16% probably that area for safe.
It'll be higher. It'll be higher
than that, right?
But it will come down also very fast. Once we get this, our country open for business again, it's a tragedy when people can't go to work because that's where your mojo, that's where your self-image comes from.
You're right.
And with people that happen to be together with their family all day long and whatever, sales of alcohol are way up, spousal abuse is way up. There's a tremendous amount of
it's been day one, a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's double-edged.
On one hand, you want to limit to mitigate the spread, right? By taking the quarantines or staying at home or whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
By closing down
Lockdown.
business.
Being under
However,
house
on the
arrest.
other side of the edge is that the more you do that, the more the economy is hurt.
Right, and that's why President Trump says the cure cannot be worse or should not be worse than the disease. And right now we're at a point where it's as bad as the disease because as we learn more and more, the fatality or death rate of the virus is very, very low.
I agree to
Very
a fact. I agree to a fact that it is the time, one of the very special moments that United States, the Americans, forget partisanship, forget politics, try together hand in hand, work out a silver line to see how soon we can come back to normal.
Jack, that's the dream. The fact is the radical left Democratic Party is not cooperating in any way with restoring our economy or fighting this virus.
They have
They're
been
prolonging.
They
the
have been
lockdown.
cooperating, per Donald Trump and his task force news release for several times in a row, several sessions in a row, that Donald Trump says it is no partisanship. It is the American job that I have been coming along, cooperating with them, working together, working with the Republicans, working with Democrats all the time. At least it has been so since the pandemic. Am I right?
No, because he is our cheerleader, okay, and he wants to give nice credit, but even like the Democrats in Congress, okay, where they have a majority, they're refusing to come back to work. They should be working every day. They're still getting paid while people are starving and are having financial, emotional, and physical.
But they're operating home, right?
They're doing nothing, Jack. The Congress is doing nothing right now, nothing. And they were supposed to come back on May 4th, which was way too long anyway. They should never leave
When you
Washington,
say the Congress
D.C.
do nothing, do we include the Republicans?
They can't do anything by themselves. They want to be back in Washington, D.C., functioning as a Congress, getting things done and fighting this.
Then can we say, that I'm trying to be a cheerleader rather than the criticizer, all right?
And
I'm talking about to cheer everybody up. At least can we agree on the fact that in Congress there's nobody working. It is the fact of nobody is working. It is not a certain party is not working, certain party is working. Am I right?
One is not working because of their attitude, and the other is not working because there's nobody to work with. So there's a big difference, but that's okay.
But they can say the same thing.
They can say whatever they want.
Yeah, they can say that. You can say that you're not working because I'm not working. I can say I'm not working because you're not working. Am I right?
The bottom line is all that matters is Congress is not in session where it should be.
No.
The Senate will
All
be back.
I'm asking is not to be so critical.
It's not critical, Jack.
Not
it's
to
the
be
truth.
so.
It's the truth.
Let's be a cheerleader. Let's do some cheerleading.
So the cheerleading is the stock market, even with all of these horrible economic factors that are happening right now, is coming back because of the hope. One of the biggest hopes right now is Gilead, which is a pharmaceutical.
Can we be less skeptical?
You can.
Yeah, right.
You can be.
Yeah, sure. So in that case, when we say nobody's working, and then we find a day, we work out a day, and both Democrats and Republicans walk back to the House and to start working.
But when they do go back, when the Democrats come back to the House, they will do everything they can to destroy our economy and to make it difficult for President Trump. The people, they've delayed.
That has not happened, has it?
Yes, it has. That took like 5 or 6 days before Nancy Pelosi, who runs the House, allowed progress on the first pay plan for people. It delayed getting the money by about 5-6 days, and also then last time another 5-6 days. They intentionally delay it to make it harder on the economy and harder on our citizens, Jack, rather than because they could solve everything if they work together.
when we can continue to come back on this issue
Yeah.
because we have the other half of the issue not mentioned because you and I
Yeah.
agreed upon last time that we'll check about the political ground, political background versus the
Reality.
party lines,
Yeah.
realities,
Right.
right? Okay, all right. So you're saying that you said that there's another news on the medical front.
Well, yeah, Gilead has a product, Remdesivir, that apparently is having excellent results, but nothing finalized yet. Excellent positive results on reducing the time to get over the virus.
I was looking for Remdesivir.
Well-
that's why I keep my cell phone here.
Yeah.
I silenced it already. It's an old medication, isn't it?
I don't know how old it is. It has existed, and it's being tested massively right now by Gilead. And Dr. Fauci, who's one of the two doctors that's the voices of science and medicine on this Wuhan virus, is saying that the results are looking very encouraging. And if he says anything that's encouraging, it will resonate with our people very well.
Yeah, it says that according to the preliminary result of the coronavirus drug
Remdesivir.
trial,
Right.
that showed that at least 50% of patients treated with it with a 5-day dosage of an antiviral REM. By the way, your spelling was wrong.
That's fine.
Remdesivir
I do my best.
improved, and more than half were discharged from the hospital.
Don't tell me that's not Santa Claus and God giving America and the world a positive note. It's great, Jack. This is
All right,
huge.
my dear friends, let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we will continue to talk about this medication. Could it be a new finding of an old medication, or could it be a new medication at all? I don't know. So stay with us.
It's called James. I host the English news every morning.
And a golden angel award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences, my dear brothers, sisters, fellow Americans of the United States. Welcome back to the East-West Show. Jack Chow on the East-West with my dear friend Ken Hemming on some serious issue, because we're on the point that we have a hope.
Yes,
The
we
word
need it.
hope, H-O-P-E, may be the best English word of so far.
And this is hope with some technical scientific reasons under it, giving it some truth. We'll find out, I'm sure within a few weeks or something, really how good this is.
It looks that we will do it faster because when we have, and they tested 397 patients
Yeah.
that with the coronavirus, COVID-19,
Yeah.
and what they say about 50% showed up improvement right away after 5 days of dosage.
So that's getting over the symptoms. Many
Yeah.
people have this disease or virus with no symptoms, okay? And they all recover fine. And nobody ever knows they had it. Nobody knows they recovered. That's why the death rate is so low.
They're saying the same thing. The point is that after they walk out of the hospital, though,
Yeah.
they will be chasing after them
Yeah.
to do more and more and more tests for further confirmation.
Sure, they will. Right.
They may show a short time improvement, and later they may crash.
Well,
Who
I don't
knows?
think I don't anticipate a crash. If that means death, I'm not sure what you're saying.
And then
it's
previously
good.
we were talking about the hydrocortisone. No,
Right.
What is that?
Yeah, well, hydrochloroquine.
Hydroxy.
Yeah,
Hydroxychloroquine
yeah, something with the,
whatsoever.
yeah, and then what's happened is
What happened was that?
Well, it's still not determined exactly. There are people that say on TV that having that when they were in really serious trouble saved their lives. So, and then there's other people that try to attack it because they don't want good news for some reason. Okay, so we don't know what's going to happen, but between remdesivir, it also the smartest people, the scientists and medical people in the world, all over the world, are working on combating the impacts of the virus. So we don't know who the hero is going to be. There could be 2 or 3 different drugs that are heroes, okay? But there's heroes on the horizon coming, and that's good news because we do beat everything we have to.
There's another group of hope on the medical front.
Yeah.
That is the vaccine.
Well, right now but again,
We haven't talked about vaccine for a long time.
Well, the issue there, though, once you think you might have a vaccine, it takes a year to test it all to be sure, because there's a difference between treating the disease and preventing it. So the vaccine prevents it. This treats
You're
it.
talking about longer run.
Right.
You're talking about longer run.
So the whole thing then is identifying those people that have symptoms. If we have this drug that can pretty much assure they will get over it in 5 days or something. So that's the thrill. That the hot spots around America, and again, the testing is getting more and more. We're going to do 4 million a day or something pretty soon to see if you have it or you don't have it. And if you do, then they can apply this recovery drugs, whatever it is, and then you go back to work.
The bigger challenge is that among people, though, there are people who are never affected, right? And that there are some who are infected, however, showing no symptoms.
Yeah, asymptomatic.
These two groups are never tested.
So but now with this testing jack, they're doing it now.
Unless you do a landslide overall test.
Well,
everybody, every head count.
We'll never test 340 million Americans. It will never happen. But it will be in the millions. In the more millions you test, then you can extrapolate the death rate, so to speak, because we know we pretty much have a good body count. We know how many die, but we don't know what the denominator is, to where you make the calculation. For the regular flu, it's 0.01. A 1 out of 1,000 might die, and here, it's going to be competitive with that. So
as far as the information are concerned, we know that the curve is suppressed.
Oh, it's suppressed, yeah.
Right? The curve is suppressed.
Trending down.
It is kind of trending down.
Yeah.
What we are still seeing is the backlog of the previously
correct
stored there.
Yeah.
And they show up and they come down. They show up, they come down.
Like in New York.
And some folks, unfortunately, had to die.
That's right.
Whatsoever.
About 57,000, 60,000.
The curve has been suppressed so far, number one.
Right. Yeah.
And number two, we have more tests.
Oh.
And we have not only more tests, but we test even, wider range scale.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
With more route
like
approach.
Crazy.
More route approach.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's going to be testing sites, we'll be able to drive in and have a testing. But right now, they really want to test people first with symptoms.
Yeah. And number three, we even have a hopeful medicine.
Thrilling hope.
On the horizon already.
Right. Today.
And number four, so starting today.
Yeah.
As number four, we shall have, absolutely we will, of a vaccine.
Well, but not every virus, you can't develop a vaccine for everything. For example, there's never been a vaccine for AIDS. And these doctors were very, very involved in that. But it's treatable now, and you don't die like you used to. They fell like flies in the 83, 84, 85, and the 80s. So the treatments, though, are phenomenal. And then if we get to a vaccine, only about 40% of the people in America get a flu shot. which is kind of a vaccine. It's not 100% perfect, but it's big. And a lot of people still don't do it. That's why we've got 15 to 60,000 people dying of the flu every year in the flu season.
Some folks even develop what they call the massive immune system.
Yeah, herd immunity is a big deal. Whereas
Yeah, hurdle, yes,
Yeah.
that's the term.
Yeah.
Hurdle immunity.
yeah, herd because like a herd of cows.
Yes, like a hurdle,
so the more
like a
people
hurdle
that hang
cow,
out
yes.
together, the more people that hang out together that maybe have this small symptoms or no symptoms, the virus doesn't have anywhere to go. If everybody around them's got this, if you've had the virus and you get over it, theoretically they're saying you won't get it again. No, they're not positive. We don't know the future yet, but it's all good. Right now, there's more good news on treating this that should have never come to America in this form, okay? Should have never come
In other
here,
words,
but
we
it's
do
here.
have we do have information or symptoms that showed up that we are going for the better.
Absolutely.
We're getting for the day.
Yeah.
For the darker days probably are over already.
Well, there'll still be some people dying, but now look, New York, they used to be over 1,000 a day die. Here, now it's down, it was like 340. So the trend of deaths in New York, which is the #1 area of the country hit negatively by this virus, is a beautiful trend. A beautiful trend. And there's going to be a lot of things coming out about
Even the
Governor
350,
Cuomo in Damascus.
even the 350 dead was not the one that was
They got it 3 weeks ago.
contaminated today.
Right. No.
Was a few weeks
2-3
ago,
weeks ago, 4
2-3
weeks
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now automatically we're talking about a reopen.
So if we get businesses working again, and I don't, in this 6 foot apart thing, it's going to hang in there for a while. It's not going to be eternal.
You know
People
what
were not designed. We weren't.
You know
born
what
to
I
wear
heard this
masks.
morning? Orange County,
Yeah.
the supervisor of Orange County
Uh-huh.
have voted
Yeah.
unanimously to reopen, however, with code, with the limitations.
Okay. Well, it might be enough to make me move there, because
Yeah.
it's good. L.A. County, Mayor Garcetti, et cetera, and our Governor Newsom.
They say it was
Very bad.
going to release the result
Yeah.
at a news conference,
Yeah. Good. I'm excited.
and probably isn't going on now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they say with a big word, however.
Right.
However, with the restrictions.
Yeah. Well, for example, one of the biggest restrictions supposedly is that you can only have 50% as many people in a restaurant as before. Well, that cannot go on eternally, or there'll be no restaurants.
And a social distance.
Well, that's why the 50%. So you can have your 6 feet, which is, that's all going to disappear.
About 4 weeks ago, Donald Trump said that, and when he was given answering a question about the sports games,
Yes, sir. Right.
right? He said
Yeah.
in the auditorium, you don't expect it all of a sudden one day from 0 to full.
Right. They will.
So you do like 20%, 25%, 30%, 50%, buy. You watch as you go.
Well, then they may want people to go to be in the stands to watch a basketball or baseball game wearing a mask. I would never do that. It's just not my style. I can stay home and be quite happy, because we weren't born to wear masks, Jack, and it'll go on for a while, but it will disappear because once we've got a treatment.
Orange
that's
County
really good.
opening up is not a rumor. I've
No.
heard it myself in person. Only we need to confirm it through the press release.
Well, it also, the glory was that last weekend, people, hundreds of thousands of people in Orange County were at the beach. It was nice to see people running around in swimming suits again and in the water.
They're
That's great.
on the beach already.
Yeah.
Of course. In the LA County, though, there are people on the beach too.
Not
But
compared.
that got
1 out of 1,000.
that was Governor Newsom very mad. Say, hey, no, they are totally doing wrong.
Anything that minimizes the power of Governor Newsom as he wants to define it, he hates.
All right, okay, my friend. Let's take a short moment out. without giving criticism, let's take a break, all right? So, we'll be back.
Continue to work on it now.
My name is Paul James. I host this news every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome back to the show, Check Chow on the East West with my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, a political commentator, a book writer, a CPA for life, a philosopher, and then everything. And on top of those, he's a fighter. And he's brave enough to stay with me within this distance twice every week. And just for the purpose to bring information to my beloved audiences. I believe the time you remember my name, you will remember him, right? So the credit is there already being built.
Your viewers, in my opinion, I'm in their family.
Right.
Thank you.
That said, I'm still going to argue with you.
Oh yeah.
Because there are points that I can't agree with you.
Right.
Recall the last time we talked about the fact that there are different opinions of continue to be shut down or reopen.
Yes, sir.
Right? The shutting down and reopening, these two different ideas. I have no problem understanding there are people who support shutdowns and there are people who support opening.
Right.
I do have problems
Slowly opening.
to put a party line on them unless there is a clear party lines. I'm kind of cheerleader kind of guy. I will say, come on, cheer up, come on. Rather than saying, hey, you're not doing your best. I'm not that kind of guy. Unless there are enough evidence showing me that the line is exactly, the argument line exactly follows the party lines though.
Right.
I will still have hard time to agree with you.
That's okay. Now,
what have you found so far?
Here's the beautiful thing. President Trump, we're a republic, okay, that made up of the individual states. And the power on the individual state is with the governor. And President Trump, instead of trying to dictate what all the states have to do the same at the same time, he admits, I don't have the intimate knowledge of each and every state, each and every county, like the governors have and the mayors have. So he has assigned them the freedom to make their choices as to, as they analyze the scientific statistics, to what they think they can do in opening up their business. Now, the whole point is, right now, overall, we have 26 Republican governors. We have 24 Democratic governors. Just for the information of your viewers, there's 6 female Democratic governors and 3 female Republican governors. So, for whatever that's worth, there's 9 out of the 50 are females. Now. So why does a governor, do they all, they can't all analyze the supporting data the same because they're all individual peoples with individual advisors.
You're right, okay.
So they can see the same information different from each other, and I totally accept that. But what the trend is being, Jack, is the Republican governors are tending right now maybe 3 times as much or so of the Democratic governors to try to slowly open up. Now, eventually, all of the governors will have to open up. You can't kill a state eternally.
Of course.
But
you can't kill your own state.
Otherwise, all of our adversaries on planet Earth will just walk in and take everything we have. But so I think there's more optimism being without a political agenda, because we have a president that they support. A lot of the Democratic governors have in my opinion, a political agenda to let the people, I won't say suffer, but be locked out a little longer.
Donald Trump has made it clear a long time ago at one of his press conferences,
Yeah.
saying, it is not my saying.
Yeah.
It is the governor who
governor's.
decide.
Right.
However, I talk with them.
He talks with them. They're
He did
talking
talk
all
to
50
them,
of them
right?
again
Okay,
today.
Now, President Donald Trump has nothing to do with it reopen or continue locking down.
Well,
now
he has an influence.
Influence,
a
yes,
big influence.
I agree.
But not a
I'm
dictation.
say the executive power.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Governor,
Right.
President Donald Trump doesn't have the executive power as the state governor has to decide to open or not open.
Right.
Now, all of the 26 Republican governors and the 24 Democratic governors,
Right.
unless the number of the 26 over 50% of the number of the 26 shows open,
Well, whatever. It's
or unless 12 or more of the 24, which are Democratic, shows preferring to continue close down.
like
I will not agree to anybody saying there is a party line there.
okay. It doesn't
And
bother me if you
yeah,
agree
of
or
course.
disagree. Yeah.
Back to my cheerleading philosophy.
Yeah.
I want to cheer up. Come on, Governor. Okay, all right, let's open it up. How about not today? How about tomorrow?
And that's what
How about
President-
day after?
And that's what.
How about
well,
next Monday?
but
Something
again,
like that.
It's data driven. Okay. Now they can interpret the data differently. That's humans. Okay, we do that. But it's data driven. Nobody's just there's no Republican governor that's just going to open up unless they feel comfortable with it. Now here's the thing. Life, Jack. They always freak out about saying, well, you can't open up unless it's safe. Now, in their opinion, I don't know what safe means. They're sort of saying safe means that nobody could get the virus anymore.
Exactly.
But life is not safe. Well, we're talking now. Some 8-year-old kid got run over on a bicycle somewhere in America.
Yeah, sure.
So life isn't safe. We're at war.
While you and I
a
are
war
here,
has victims.
While you and I are here, some meteorite fell from the sky,
Absolutely,
right?
landed on somebody's
okay,
head.
we get killed right away.
Right.
So nothing is safe, nothing is safe.
Right.
We see
Yeah.
what all we say is on the average.
Right. No, that's fine.
We say reasonably,
Yeah.
reasonably understood,
and
reasonably adopted.
right.
How about that?
And connected with whatever drugs are effective in eliminating the symptoms
we use
if
that.
you get it.
We use that on average
And
because
that's
the same
what's
drug is available to Democrats. The same drug is available to Republicans.
Right.
There's no line, all right.
But there's one other really important thing, Jack, and that is you could open up a restaurant, maybe it's only 50%, or you could open up a hair salon or something. Nobody has to go there. If you're not comfortable with going there, don't go there. So nobody's ordered
Of course.
anybody to. But the thing is, the hunger
Once
in
again,
American people.
once
we
again,
want
like I
to
said,
get back to normal.
once again, like I quoted from Donald Trump,
Yeah.
you don't expect the auditorium to be filled 100% day one, maybe 10%, 20%, 25%,
Yeah,
right?
that's-
And then on, gradual.
Yeah.
Restaurant, same thing. You open, probably you have 2 guests whole day. And next day you
Well,
have
no,
more.
it won't
Goes
be
on
that
and on
bad.
and on and on.
There's
and
tremendous
then
demand.
it goes to your open because you have a stomach
Right.
that calls you to go to a restaurant.
Right. Yeah. Nobody's ordered to go
Now,
into a business.
I don't want to argue with you, but
Yeah.
I want to make my point, and just to go back to my promise of last Monday, let's say among the 26 Republican governors, we have the governors of Alaska, governors of Florida, governor of Georgia, and the governor of Oklahoma, and the governor of South Carolina. Only 5 of them insisted to go on open. And the 5 out of 26 stands for only 19%. So I confirm that the opening concept is not a Republican concept. Am I right?
I disagree, but that's fine.
All right,
I accept
good,
it.
good. And the same thing on the other side, though. And among the 24 of the Democratic governors, we have Colorado,
Right.
right? And we have Montana
Right.
governor. These
Right.
2 governors insisted that they agree on the opening policies.
In the reasons for
The
that,
opening.
like say Montana, it's a huge state with very few people. So people aren't even within 6 feet of it. Sometimes they're not within
Yeah.
6 miles of anybody.
Of
so
course.
It's quite safe to do that. And as long as the people then interface with care and concern, it'll be fine. In Colorado, it's got Denver, some big cities, but also it's very spread
What
out.
is the film of Gays by Leon? Was that taken in Montana?
Oh, I
It
don't
was
know which
taken
one.
probably
Yeah.
in Montana.
Yeah, well,
And
Montana's
it's
got a lot of filming.
huge
called the
mountains,
Big Sky
huge
State.
mountains,
Yeah.
deep forests.
The Big Sky State.
All right, good.
It's beautiful.
All right. Okay, my friend, let's take a moment out. We come back to continue on some more analysis, please.
It's called James. I host this news every morning.
and a golden angel award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the East West Show. Jack Chow on the East West with my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming. Fourthly, we would probably pick up an issue that is very problematic, at least it bothers me. That is over the sexual harassment of Joe Biden. What's your take?
Well, here's what's happening. A lady named Tara Reid was a staffer in Joe Biden's office in the mid-90s, okay? And she has stated that he sexually abused her.
How many years ago?
93, 94, 25 years ago or something.
25 years
Yeah,
ago.
25, 26 years ago. But, you know, and then like when a lady is abused, or a man, also like Boy Scouts or whatever, is abused, you know, they don't just run out right away and make accusations and go to the police. They should, but they don't always do that. Now, this lady, Tara Reid, that said that Mr. Biden abused her. He pushed her against the wall and touched her where he's not supposed to. And she told her mother, and she told about 5 of her friends on a contemporaneous basis back then that this happened, okay? And we remember with Kavanaugh, where our radical people didn't want him to be a Supreme Court justice because he believes in the Constitution and he's conservative. There was no proof of any evidence that he did anything wrong ever. And they had all these people accusing him of everything, okay, which was just beyond evil. But there was no evidence, none. And he is a Supreme Court justice now, and they tried to lynch him, just like they, okay,
For this one,
there's evidence.
person the
Supporting
name
interest.
named Tara Reid,
Yeah, Tara
right?
Reid. Right.
Tara Reid.
Yeah.
Does she have any evidence?
I just said so. Yes, she like four or five of her friends state clearly that she told them this happened, approximately when it happened. She told her mother.
Do you recall when Judge Kavanaugh faced the same accusation? What did you say?
There was no supporting evidence. The one lady, I forget her name, she's a blonde, and she's a radical leftist professor at Stanford, okay? So she's not dumb, but she has evil in her soul. She named 4 witnesses. All of them denied that it ever happened, that they ever
And
saw
then
anything. It was all lies.
how can we tell the evidences of this Tara lady
Well,
were telling truth?
because at the time she told 4 or 5 of her friends, they've all said she did. They told her mother, and also we have a video of a phone call on a Larry King show where her mother called in and talked to Larry King about her daughter had been sexually abused by a prominent senator, and where does she go for justice? So this is amazing that they found this 25, 26-year-old a phone call on a Larry King call-in show, when hashtag Me Too was big.
Did she say my daughter?
They have her voice. We know her voice. They can
No. Did she say?
Oh, she said my daughter.
My daughter.
Yeah, she did.
Was
Sexually abused
sexually
by a prominent
harassed.
senator.
Sexually harassed by
Assaulted.
a
not
prominent
harassed.
senator.
Physically assaulted. Yes.
Physically assaulted.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. But so, Jack, the whole thing is, it's this double standard of the radical left Me Too movement, okay, that where Hillary Clinton, a woman, has to be believed.
I always have a hard time understanding of those women, of their families or their mother, father, whoever, or their friends. Why didn't they say a thing back then?
Well, you've never been abused. I've never been abused. We can't answer that. This lady did say things. Tara Reid did tell her people, and her mom did talk on the radio about this. So,
did they go to police?
I'll bet you this hand right now. They're trying to get the Biden's senatorial files opened up because she did file a complaint at that time with the Senate harassment committee, whatever you call it. And everything's ignored. The bottom line is, if it's a Republican that did nothing, they'll be happy to.
Don't give me that if.
It is the truth.
Don't give me that if. Just to talk Biden is a Biden.
Okay.
Joe Biden is Joe Biden.
Yeah. And
right?
yeah.
Not as if it were Ronald Reagan or whoever. So that doesn't stand. There's not the same ground.
Okay.
Don't shift the ground. Let's
I'm not.
stay on the
You're
ground.
staying,
Yeah. Let's stay on the same ground. I'm asking, if the mother has been denied by the police station, why would she file a lawsuit against Joe Biden?
She hasn't filed a lawsuit yet that I know of. I'm not talking about lawsuits. She's come.
That's my question.
Right.
Why didn't she file a lawsuit against Joe Biden?
Jack, when a man or woman that has tremendous power does something naughty and rotten and evil, they have such power they intimidate a person into submission. It could even happen to me or you. Okay, you can be intimidated and influenced by powers above you, and so why?
Back to Rosa Parks days,
Yeah, I
she
love her.
was fighting. She was fighting the whole United States,
She was a hero.
and her enemy were stronger than Joe Biden. Why wouldn't she do something like Rosa Parks?
Look, civil rights.
Why
is not-
wouldn't she do something like
like anybody?
Martin Luther King?
Yeah. Martin Luther King was a nonviolent, beautiful leader and protester, okay? Beautiful. This was violence. A sexual assault is a violent
I'm not
act.
talking about the mother. Was being violent or was the nun. I'm talking about she was being violated.
She was.
All right?
Yeah.
And then, as the mother or the daughter herself, as a victim,
Yeah.
why can't they file a lawsuit against Joe Biden?
Oh, they could. But what she said is that, she worked for him because she loved him, she admires him and all that sort of stuff. And she says, I didn't want to hurt his reputation too much by naming who did it. And so those are
In
reasons.
other words, back then, they didn't want to hurt him because they recognized him as hardworking senator.
No, not as a hardworking senator. They liked him. They thought, I don't think he was
All
a
right.
hardworking
Okay, now,
senator
let
ever.
me rephrase myself.
Yeah, right.
They did not file a lawsuit because they kind of liked him.
Yeah, right. And
right.
also, in those days, a woman didn't have
Could
a
that
great
be?
chance.
Could that be? I'm only asking. All right.
Yeah.
I'm only asking on behalf of myself.
Sure.
As a natural person, could that be? Could that like him to a certain extent that it will just keep them from filing a lawsuit against him?
Well, Hillary Clinton, as you remember, threatened some of the ladies that Bill Clinton had assaulted. She threatened them. And,
No. I'm talking
and she
about Joe
snuffed them.
Biden. Has Joe Biden threatened them?
Joe Biden hasn't even opened his mouth on this yet. Okay?
I see. I see.
And the
Now,
media,
you have no evidence of saying Joe Biden has threatened them.
I never said that. You made that up.
No,
I didn't
you
say
gave
that.
me an example of Hillary Clinton.
I did.
Why you give me a Hillary Clinton example?
Because
and she is out of the question. Let's stay with Joe Biden.
The whole hashtag Me Too thing, that a woman is supposed to be believed. The radical media now hasn't even mentioned this yet. It's going to come out.
No. I'm not
telling you
saying
the truth.
I'm not saying on behalf of Joe Biden. Neither am I saying on behalf of the woman. I'm only talking about a person, a guy. My question, my wonder from common sense. The common sense being, if I was accused, I would put this guy in court the next day.
Okay, you don't know what you do because it hasn't happened.
If my
Neither do
sister
I.
or my daughter or whoever,
Well, whatever.
I would do the same thing.
But now here's what my prediction is. Okay, look, he's going to end up debating Trump, and he's going to have to answer this. He is going to have to respond with his own mouth. He had a spokesperson for him said he denied it ever happened. But we have contemporaneous in those days people that said she reported that to them at the time, and she is asking the Senate to release his records.
In which way do you believe that this person, Tara Reid, this lady Tara Reid, had more evidence or more witness than the lady accusing Kavanaugh?
Because it's obvious. There was zero.
No, don't
Jack,
take obvious.
It's obvious if you have. If you watch the
Don't
Kavanaugh,
give me anything of obvious.
It was obvious.
That I say
there was zero,
you have.
There was zero evidence of any accusation against Kavanaugh. Zero. Nobody ever had anything. Here, she told her friends. They've all said she told them. And the mother talked to Larry King.
Again, to Kavanaugh, even to Kavanaugh, if that very person was assaulted, why wouldn't she go to court? Why wouldn't she file at least something, a police report?
You know, Jack, one thing I don't know a lot about, and that is what happens to your mind when you're sexually assaulted, man or woman, okay? And so a lot of people, a lot of women and men have been assaulted and they don't report it. They're intimidated, they're afraid, and the justice system doesn't always work in their favor.
All right,
That's
good. So now, people are human. Human minds function the same way, in a similar way. When you hurt, right?
Well,
you get the most pain day one.
hopefully.
All right. And then day 2, the pain reduces. Day 25, no pain. Year 25, there's no pain at all.
Well, we've got to wrap it up, but let me just say this.
No. Answer me. The physical pain and the psychological pain,
it doesn't.
The mental pain, the same thing.
The mental pain does not go away. This girl, Tara Reid,
Same
said
thing.
she still would
All
vote.
right, my friend.
She says she'd still vote for Biden.
I'm very sorry. Okay, I'll let her vote. That's a joke. Okay.
No, it's not. That's what she said. Yeah.
We're a little over time. I'm very sorry, but we want to make a point clear. My whole point is that you hurt, the pain stays the strongest day 1, and day 2, day 3, day on, so on and so forth, gets reduced gradually. And year 1, year 2, year 25, you hardly even remember. Come on.
No.
Don't tell me lies.
No.
Politically. All right.
No.
Okay, my dear friend.
Yeah. Thank you, Jack.
We're done. All right.
Love your viewers.
Well, thank you very much.
Love you.
My dear audience, I love you.
We do.
Oh, stay safe, stay home.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, stay home. All right?